Hey, what's up, man? It's Xxwickedninjaxx here. Here today to learn a little bit about something. You know, I did a couple of demonstrations and whatnot with these swords on doing cuttings and stuff like that. But one thing I did not mention is your hip power. Something Bruce Lee talked about all the time. And you gotta have your hip into it. You know, like shutting the door. So when you're shutting the door, you put your hip into it. So when you're shutting the door, you put your hip into it. So like if you're punching and you punch, you put your hip into it. So when you're punching or you're shutting the door or you're kicking, you put your hip into it. So the same thing is when you're working a weapon, whether it's nunchucks or scythes or shocks or anything like that. You know, you gotta put your hip into it. So you know, for an instance, like when you're cutting with a blade, you put your hip into it, and that's what causes a serious good blade cutting power. So always remember, every cut that you make, the more you got your hip into it, the better your cut's going to be. So I'm going to do a little bit of freestyle with this blade, just kind of swing around a little bit, get a little feel of it, do some techniques and whatnot, and just get down and boogie with it. So we're going to go out and start out with the elbow hug, right? We're going to start out like this, and then we're going to do some shit. So there we go. So, you know, kind of just be creative with yourself when you're swinging the thing around, you know, and be careful, don't cut yourself.
Try it again.
First, go slow, and once you feel you're comfortable with your sword, and you can gain up with some speed. So, you know, coming out, you know, being proficient with it, dude, making the weapon your body, you know, because that's everything, you know, that you want to do. And when you're fighting with your hands, basically all the same techniques, but you have an extension of your human body and whatnot. So those are some cool pointers that you want to know about working with a ninja blade. So, you know, coming across from the back, hitting out, you know, using your shoulder for leverage, hitting with the butt, coming down, coming across, you know, coming up on your elbow, you know, your hand can be on the outside of the garnet to brace the blade even more, and then slide to the end to get grip. I mean, there's all kinds of techniques that you can do with these. So, you know, just to get kind of familiar and get a little freestyle play in with your sword. But whenever you're going to grab the garnet, don't ever grab this way because you cut your hand. Always grab this way, the backside. You can also use up here and then cut to get more reinforcement from the blade. And that's a good thing about ninja toes is when you're working with the whole blade and you're starting from the garnet, you'll have your hand here and you'll slide down all the way in, and you're getting that extra pressure into the blade for that solid good cut. So that's another good technique you can do with these swords. Yeah, pretty much. So you know, all these little techniques that you can do is pretty cool. So yeah, so you know, just practice freestyling. You know, get around, get used to it. You know, come around. You know, and then you got your tornado move. You're coming around like this. And you're spinning and you're walking through. You know, you got a group of people that are all around you, and you're standing there, and you're coming up, and you're spinning around, and it's called the tornado because you're moving through like a tornado, and you're cutting all these targets at the same time. You know, so I mean, you have an extension of your body, and you're moving through, you know, and without the blade, you can work a tornado in the same manner. So we're going to do this with my hands. So we're coming around, working a tornado with my hands, and your hands are coming back like this, you know, open hand, when you hit close hand. Close your hand at the moment of impact. You know, so I mean it's the same techniques that you're taught that you're using with a weapon. You know, so I mean there you go, there you have it. So that's pretty much for the lesson that I'm doing today. Just remember, every time you go to slam a door, you want to practice on how to use your hip. That's the best way to do it, is just slam a door shut. You don't have to really slam it, but you know, just to close it, and you'll see how your hip puts itself into it. When you see how your hip puts itself into it, then you know how to put your punch into it, you know, and lead into it. And another thing I see a lot of people do when they're boxing with people, they'll reach out like this. And when they're reaching out like this, their hip's not going into it. Their hip is actually leading out in an opposite direction than their punch. If you're gonna punch somebody, you have to be up close to them. You don't want much distance. What you see in the movies is you see a lot of distance because they want the move to be seen. But when you're in combat, like a ninja, everything has to be invisible. You don't want your enemy to see what you're doing. So you're up close to your opponent and you come right in. And not only do you connect with your fist, you can connect with your elbow. Connect back with your elbow and back with your elbow. You see, you're up super close. So if an opponent punches me, I'm right here. I slightly move and totally connect into him. And then come back and connect into him again. And I got my hip following with me. So all that power goes into my punch. You can be a little tiny person, knock down a big dude, because all your hip power is all you need. So when did you cut out? So therefore, you always want to make sure you're putting your hip into it. That's what you want to do, and that's the object of this video today. You know, because a lot of people, they get out there, they box, and they don't put their hip into it. So practice with the door first, you know, but don't slam it and piss your neighbors off or anybody else off in the family household. Just take the door and close it and figure out how your hip works with the door. And then how your hip works with the door is the same way that how your hip works with your foot, or how your hip works with your fist. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you want to do. You want to be able to work with your hip. So put your hip into it, and then once you get good with working with your body, with your hip, and grab your sword or your shogs or your nunchucks and learn to put your hip into it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is for today, Wicked Ninja. I'm offline, man.